And again, this is the same general area where we have Zaid's loyalty mission, but I think we will wait to do that until a little bit later on. So I think we're looking to head back in this direction. Let's see, that's the master relay over here. That's Zaid's loyalty mission over there. It's down here we're looking to go, though.
We have used half our fuel.
Could be fine for fuel, although might be worth restocking here. Alright, looking good. Let's... and even probes. Sure, let's get another round. Now let's head over. So yeah, the reason why this is not 100% over here is because we haven't yet gone to the area where we have Zaid's loyalty mission. But now we have a totally new system. In fact, all these places where we have the Firewalker missions. So I suppose we did already know a little bit about the Phoenix massing because we did know about Project Overlord previously. But let's see. So I was thinking that we would do Geth Incursion first. So let's go here, and again, there is another mission in this general area, but I think we won't necessarily look to do that right now. Okay, so let's see. Overlord is over there. Firewalker is further in that direction, but while we're here, might as well explore this system. Let's see what we have. Ashasara, a gas giant, Ishasara, is composed mostly of hydrogen and nitrogen. Its orbit is in recent years has taken it close to the mass relay in its system, making it a popular stop for scoop ships to refuel the hydrogen in their thrusters before moving on. Let's see, well, perhaps that is why it does not have much in the way of resources here, so no thank you. Let's look elsewhere. And we have this planet next, Serapi. Serapi, ever upward, is the second planet orbiting the white star Tasra. Serapi's pressure cooker atmosphere of carbon dioxide and ethane serves as a greenhouse to the already boiling hot surface. Cobalt compounds are frequently found on its crust, giving spectacular blue tinges to its land. Scans from orbital probes indicate its crust contains deposits of platinum, likely to be as unexploited as its sister planet, Kahur. Giving us a hint here? This is the place to go for platinum? We will have to see about that. We will be the judge. And that's iridium, for what it's worth. And that's not that high up there. I mean, it's solid. But I'm thinking we might find something better still. Also, alright, that's probably a little bit worse. Well, getting a little bit better here, but maybe still not quite at the point we'd like it to be. That's better, though. That's much better. Okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Let's nab that.
Probe launched.
Okay. Those are decent twin peaks there. And we generally prefer to maximize one and get that bar as high as possible, rather than splitting it across two. So if we have the choice, then I would prioritize doing that. And this may be the place to do that. Something like that.
Probe away.
Platinum was the one it was telling us about before, saying this is the place to go for it. But it is now downgraded to good. So, place we were seeing before for the palladium, it may have been. I mean, that's borderline. But I think we oh, hold on. Is this the place we were seeing before? You hit it right on the mark. That does look pretty good. And it's a good planet, so in theory, you know, we might find better stuff from the rich ones. Supposedly, they're saying the neighboring planet was also very good for resources, so maybe let's check this one before we get too crazy. Pahur, by normal standards, a large rock planet, Pahur, fiery, is constantly scorched by the white, bright giant it orbits. A dense atmosphere featuring hydrogen, helium, and clouds of vaporized magnesium float above its iron-rich core, making a truly hellish landscape. Its spectacular temperature prevents any practical exploitation. Whoa! 1,445 degrees Celsius. That's pretty freaking hot. Pretty hot. And it is also rich in resources, so this is also a place that I think is worth taking a close look at here. Didn't really get any hints from the description saying that there's a specific resource we should be looking out for. I mean, that's good. It's very good for iridium. I'm wondering if we can get great. Oh. Not often you see iridium plus palladium, where we have two distinct peaks. Hold on, is it? Wondering if there's a place where we can get one to go particularly high, maybe at the cost of the other, but that may still be worth it. And then in doing so, I abandoned what was otherwise seemingly the best spot, and that might be right around here. I mean, they're both good. They're both very good. And having two that are very good is maybe sufficient to be worth sending out the probe here.
Probe launched.
Oh. This is the one we were looking at before? I don't know, but this has got to be high enough, I think, to be worth doing here. Or was the super peak? Bearish? Oh, we got it better than that. Yeah. Something like this?
Launching probe.
Okay, now we're back down to good. I think we probably call it quits here. Okay, and that's it for this system. Maybe we just load up on some probes, because we did use a bunch there. And fuel, we're still fine. Let's head over to the Firewalker spot, although actually... So I think we'll wait to do Overlord, because that's a totally different mission, a totally different DLC. Of course, Firewalker is what we're looking to do here, but this one we just don't know anything about. This Salahil. So why don't we try that and see if there is anything interesting in this area. It's tiny. It is absolutely tiny. We have Ekuna, first discovered by the Quarians at the turn of the century. Ekuna is habitable, but a second-tier choice for most species, not to be confused with Dekuna, which I believe is the homeworld for the Elcor. Circling an orange sun, Ekuna averages below freezing temperatures. This led development firms to colonize at the planet's equator, where the climate is tolerable for agriculture. The Quarians, seeking a homeworld of their own, petitioned the Citadel Council for the right to take over Ekuna, but they had already settled a few 100,000 Quarians on the planet before approaching the Council. Seeing this occupation as an illegal act, the Council turned a deaf ear to Quarian pleas and gave the world to the Elcor, well, it did go to the Elcor after all, who could withstand the high gravity of the world far better. The Quarians squatting on the planet were given one galactic standard month to leave, at which point their colonies would be bombarded. The junk left by the fleeing Quarians clog up portions of the landscape to this day. Non-Elcor visitors to Ekuna are advised to use personal or vehicular mass effect fields to lighten the pressure, as the surface gravity will otherwise cause health and mechanical problems. So there are 221 million people, so that's pretty significant population there. Not like humongous likes of which you would see in a home world of one of the species, but still significant. And so how significant is the gravity 4.1, geez, okay. I suppose we were seeing something along those lines previously where we saw a similar description saying it's really only suitable for L-Core. Let's see, it is rich though, when it comes to resources. Oh, and it has EZO. I am interested. I am interested in that case. Let's nab some of this. Hold on, I'm curious to see though, can we get a better source of the EZO? That is definitely what we would prioritize in this case, unless we have something really well suited for a probe like this platinum here.
Probe away.
Might have been able to get a slightly better spot than that, but hopefully that still was a pretty good source. Okay, hold on. This might be a little bit better than the EZO spot we were looking at previously.
Probe away.
And getting roughly 1,000 EZO is definitely a welcome sight. Let's see, hold on. This was shooting up over here. Is that good enough? Probably. It's borderline. Hold on. Hold on. This looks better. This does look better. Right around there.
Launching probe.
But yeah, EZO is definitely the hardest to get, and therefore I think that is what we want to prioritize here, most of all. In this case, slightly less than 1,000 that time. 1,000 EZO is a lot of EZO. That is not the easiest thing to get. Like, this is definitely not as high on the EZO here. It exists. Oh, but now we're down to moderate. I was not even looking at that much there, but perhaps reason for us to look for other sources of EZO going forward. Now let's head over to our Firewalker mission. Okay, so we got Latesh, which is the place where we are eventually looking to go. But let's explore it here, and we'll also check out the other planet over there as well, which looks like it is the same size as the star.
I have detected an anomaly.
Okay, so Latesh, translated from a Solarian dialect as "it's still winter," has an almost habitable temperature and abundant water, but shows no signs of life. Regular supervolcanic eruptions in the southern hemisphere have shrouded the sun and led to a climate of even more bone-chilling than usual. Okay, it is negative 35 degrees Celsius. I mean, that isn't crazy. We were certainly on worse in Mass Effect 1, but it is, oh, okay, with the shroud, it's negative 53, making it a fair bit worse. Okay. Let's see, let's find this anomaly first. Here it is.
Probe launched. Something on our sensors.
Let's see, so anomaly detected. Planetary scans detect signals from sensor pods left on the planet's surface. These pods may contain valuable data. Warning, surface temperatures are extremely low. Advise keeping Hammerhead exposure to the cold at an absolute minimum. So, you remember my saying that the first time we were using the Hammerhead when we first acquired it, that it was more or less sort of like a tutorial, an introduction to the Hammerhead. This is how it works, these are the various things that you can do with it. But with these subsequent Firewalker missions, yes, we will also be using the Hammerhead. However, let's just say things start to get a little more complicated. So, we will eventually look to land here. But first, let's explore the other planet in this area. This ginormous one. Trigetis. Trigetis is a gas giant named for the first Solarian astronomer to predict planets' occurrences mathematically rather than through direct observation. It has a faint ring system and 3 moons, Tadacha, Norum, and Bestia. High-altitude clouds can be seen casting shadows on Trigesta's lower atmosphere, where concentrations of methane and ammonia give it an azure color. The planet is believed to be an extrasolar capture. Okay, let's see. Moderate in terms of the resources here. So I think in all likelihood we are not looking to launch any probes unless we see any spikes of EZO, but I think that's very unlikely, not seeing any here, so why don't we carry on? And that means we are looking to head over to Latesh. Before we do so, though, let's save. We haven't done so for apparently a while, because when we last saved on Corliss. And this mission, as I was saying, gonna be significantly harder than the one that we were just on with the Hammerhead. And how exactly does that work, you say? Well, oh, actually, we can get the actual mission description. Why don't we actually read that? So, oh, well, we have seen this before. So, yeah. Travel here and recover the data collected by the probes on the planet's surface. So that's generally going to be the theme when it comes to Hammerhead missions, is collecting research from little places like we saw in the previous mission. But with the introduction of more complications to make things a little more interesting with these subsequent missions. So, the reason why this one is going to be more difficult is because, as we're reading here, it is very, very cold. Advise keeping Hammerhead exposure to the cold at an absolute minimum. So you might be saying to yourself, sure, it's cold. What's the worst that could possibly happen, right? You know, like the Hammerhead freezes over entirely and becomes completely unusable and we lose. Yeah, that's the thing. So, we can land, but bear in mind that we have a pseudo-timer on this mission. So, it's not as straightforward as it might initially seem, because yes, our vehicle can quite literally freeze. So, much like with the previous mission in which we spent approximately 30 seconds outside of the vehicle, it doesn't really matter who we take here, so let's once again make a point of taking some people that we don't take very often, like Jack and Jacob, just because, well, it gives us the opportunity to at least pretend that we are using them more often. Alright, and I think once again, we're looking to save Jack's abilities for skill points until we can use warp ammo, and with us, we're waiting to either upgrade pull or charge all the way up to 4. Weapons also relevant here. And so, in case it wasn't clear, yes, we did in fact collect the Hammerhead after that previous mission, and it is now hanging out on the Normandy, and we can deploy it when needed.
Prolonged exposure to extreme temperatures.
Okay. Gonna pause, or at least read the mission update immediately here, because, like I was saying, the longer we wait, the more that it starts to freeze. So find all nodes on the surface of Latesh. So we're looking for the same research-type things that we saw in the previous mission. However, you'll see, I believe it's in the bottom right corner, there will be a little bit, it might be a meter that basically says, or maybe that's just our research meter, but the Hammerhead will get slower the colder it gets, and generally means that, of course, the mission will get more difficult, so we gotta be fast. We gotta be fast. 10 nodes left.
Atmospheric data acquired. Engine temperature stabilizing.
And it does heat up a little bit when we have the Hammerhead actually picking up the stuffs. So that helps too. So we get resources whenever we collect these. Gotta be fast. Excuse me?
Extraction complete.
Okay, we are significantly slower, because I did not mean to slow down there, but apparently something happened that did slow us down. But again, we will heat up a little bit whenever we do the scanning.
Temperature falling.
You can actually see the ice building on the vehicle, which is an indication of, yes, that it is getting frozen up.
Caution, engine temperature falling.
So I don't actually know how low it is when it tells us that it is falling.
Extraction complete.
Nice. I think if we're hanging out next to those torches, it can actually heat us up. And we are far away. This one could be the end of us. We're not quick here. I should not have jumped. Ooh, I was not on it. Look at how much slower it's going this time.
Extraction complete.
Ooh. Yeah, we are cutting this close. We still got 5 left. We got a ways to go, I'm afraid. Yo, don't do the jumping. Don't do the jumping.
Warning. Engine temperature below recommended parameters.
I understand that. Ooh, not on top of it. So we're getting the red when we are not close enough to it.
Extraction complete.
And that slows us down
Engine
significantly.
temperature falling.
And we might have needed to hang out next to the previous one there to heat up a little bit more.
Extraction complete.
Nice. 3 left. We're making progress, but oh man, we are slow now. Trying to use our boost to speed us up a bit.
Warning. Engine temperature below recommended parameters.
Understand that.
Extraction complete. Caution. Engine temperature falling.
Okay, we got this area here.
Warning. Engine temperature below recommended parameters. Extraction complete.
Okay, just 1 left at the very least.
Engine temperature
So
falling.
worst comes to worst, we miss out on a little bit here. This one looks like it's far away. I don't see it at all.
Engine temperature below recommended parameters.
Up there. Wow. Come on.
Extraction complete.
Done.
We got it. It was close. I don't know exactly how much time you have when you're getting those warning signs, but we pulled it off. We got all of them. So what happens is if you freeze, if you take too long and you freeze, then I think the mission just immediately ends and you get however many resources you manage to get by scanning those, but it could be just 1 round. It could be half of them. It could be however many you manage to get. And so we got some Cerberus funding here. No credits found, of course, but we did get 5,000 palladium, so not bad in that sense. Another 125 experiences, not bad either. All right, so taking a look at our journal here, we are now done with Geth activity. With all the data collected, Cerberus can search it for clues as to Dr. Case's whereabouts. And the researchers that were affiliated with this project. So now we have survey sites located, and we have volcano station. Let's see. Data shows that Dr. Case had stopped on a planet Korang to run tests on artifacts found on the planet's surface. Recovering the data he collected could lead Cerberus to discover Dr. Case's last known location, or alternatively, volcano station. Data taken from Ziona reveals that Dr. Case established a research station deep inside an active volcano on the planet Karumto. Dr. Case believed that the volcano hides an extensive Prothean ruin. Whether his hunch was true or not, the station should contain data that will lead to Dr. Case's whereabouts. Caution is advised. Yeah, okay. So as we saw, of course, in the previous one, it is unlike the first mission, where we were just zooming through, didn't have to worry about anything slowing us down. But, yeah, stuff just gets more complicated. So, let's try maybe going for survey sites next. Let's see. So, I imagine that's going to be in a totally different area. And, again, Overlord is in this area as well. But I think we're going to wait before we do that. Let's try to basically do all these Firewalker ones for now. We got to head back to the mass relay. Because I imagine this next one is going to be in a totally different area. Let's fuel up. Yeah, we spent a lot of fuel there. And probes, we're doing okay. There we go. Alright. So, we have artifact collection, we have cover research data. Which one was it we were saying? Hold on. Artifact collection? I don't remember that by name. I thought it was recover research data, but we had the, volcano station is what it is referred to here. This one's in the Calston Rift, whereas this one is in Hawking Ida cluster. Hawking Ida is a cluster we were able to go to in Mass Effect 1. We know that's maybe not quite as far in the Terminus systems. Well, Okay, so this one is Calston Rift. That one's talking, I already forget which order we were talking about them in. Was it Calston Rift we wanted to go to? Let's try this out. I mean, it's not a huge deal which order we do them in, I don't think. Let's see. So, we've got Valor or Valor here. Let's look around here first. We have Partholon, a large planet composed of ice surrounding a rocky core. Partholon retains trace gases of nitrogen and carbon monoxide. Its crushing gravity makes for an inhospitable stay and makes most mining infeasible. However, its orbit's proximity to the mass relay in the system means space travelers will, for the next few years, use it for a gravitational slingshot to add speed on their way to and from Calliston. See, it does have a rich supply of resources, so we're interested. We are interested in your ridiculous quantities of platinum, if you don't mind. If you don't mind.
Launching probe.
You know, a tiny bit of iridium in there as well. Okay, still considered rich. But I think we can probably do better than that. I mean, that's maybe marginally better, but not that much better. About this. Hold on. Can we make this good enough to be worth doing? It's border. Oh, I was gonna say it's borderline. Yeah. Potentially. I think we still see if we can do better, though. That looks a little more enticing. This platinum here. Where's the best spot? Here, I think.
Probe launched.
Alright, now it's downgraded to good. So, why don't we carry on in that case? See what else we have here. In theory, there's 5 planets in this system. Looks like they are all very close to this star, maybe. We've got Alatha, a tiny rock planet. Alatha is noted for its frigid temperatures and crushing nitrogen and krypton atmosphere. Lying out beyond the former belt, there is little to recommend it. It is rich on resources, though. So it has my attention for that reason. Pretty good on iridium. It's good. Borderline great. Probably is great, to tell you the truth. Just, we have a lot of iridium, is the thing. So, it does make me, well, I mean, that's hard to turn down, though, right? That's pretty hard to turn down. There's a tiny bit of palladium there as well. Oh. Oh. That is good. But I wonder if we can do better. Because, that's definitely better. That's definitely better. Hold on, we had a really good sweet spot there for a second. Thought. Maybe something like... There? I think that's best. Focusing primarily on the iridium. And palladium's just a bonus, really.
Launching probe.
It's still considered rich. For what it's worth. Might mean still have a good source around here somewhere. I think we might have been looking at that one previously, though. I mean, it's not bad. That might have also been one we were looking at before, and we were saying it's good. We weren't necessarily sure if it was good enough for us. I think it has some platinum there as well. Yeah. Sure. Sure. I think it's gonna get downgraded here, yeah. Seemed like it was borderline on par with other rich planets we'd seen. So let's see. There's supposedly something. Yeah, I was gonna say there's 5 things in here, and it didn't seem like there were 5 planets. So that little thing here, Rays, is a member of the Fomor Belt. Rays is a dwarf planet with no atmosphere. It is, however, rich in lithium, which is integral to grunge rock. but is also to heat the planet sinks of starships or handheld weapons. A large robo-mining operation from Caliston can be found here. Okay. Can we beat that robo-mining operation to the punch and steal all those goodies for ourselves? That's my question. That's not really good enough. This? Decent. That any better? Not really. That is, though. That is better, though. That is definitely better, though. That's worth taking.
Launching probe.
Now it's already down to good, though. So that may have been the sweet spot. Unless this is, like, amazing right here, but have my doubts. And that is just, decent. Okay. So, found Brace hiding in this asteroid belt here. And now we can see these two planets, or maybe a planet and a moon. And this makes more sense, seeing as we have two things remaining here in order to get to 100%. So Caliston is the name we keep on hearing. The hostile moon Caliston, hostile? How's a moon hostile? Is the largest satellite of the gas giant Cernunnos. An ancient asteroid strike deposited major loads of element 0 within the molten sulfur mantle. You got my attention. Eldfell Ashland Energy's mining operation have made it to the largest source of Starship Drive core material in the Attican Traverse. Caliston is racked with volcanism due to tidal stresses from Cernunnos. Because of weak solar output, plant-like life on Caliston is not carbon-based and photosynthetic, but silicon-based and thermosynthetic, it does have life though, requiring heat rather than sunlight to power its chemical reactions. These organisms flourish in volcanic vents and during solar flares, while Baylor can double or triple in luminosity. Sadly, sapient habitation is not possible here, and Caliston's biodiversity is considered threatened by the Citadel Council Committee on Habitable Worlds. Nonetheless, does have a 1.8 billion population here, so that's pretty big. It is rich, and as I was saying, we heard talk of Element 0, and that is definitely of interest, although that's a whole lot of palladium.
Probe launched.
And a few other things as well. Hold on. Got the palladium, yes, and a large quantity of it, but we also got some Element 0 there. So that does catch my attention, although that's a much smaller quantity relative to this palladium, so I think we want to maximize the palladium here, at least with this probe. Then, assuming we're still on a rich planet here, let's keep our eyes peeled for, yes, Element 0 sources now. Try to get the best one of those. That's, I mean, Element 0 tends to come in smaller quantities, yes, but I think we can still do better than that. Maybe even better than this. That good enough? It's okay. It's good. No. I want the Ezo. Show me your best Ezo. Oh, a little bit of a spike there for a second. Oh, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Let's go here, I think. Let's see. 34,400.
Probe away.
Just about 1,000, which for Ezo is a pretty big deal. Still considered rich. We saw a bit of a spike there for platinum, I thought, but we also started to see some Ezo, and again, Ezo generally be my preference. Oh, hold on. Spike. Palladium. That's pretty big. We hit it at the peak right about here. Is it worth doing, though? And I really would be most interested in getting another solid source of Ezo, but it seemed like the other ones were not nearly as significant. But that's maybe even the next best one we've seen, and that's not terribly inspiring even when it comes to ESO. Oh, hold on. We should probably get... Where's that? Saw sort of the scale breaking for a second there. Probably still make a point of doing that.
Probe away.
Okay, now it's downgraded to good, so let's carry on to Cernunnos, which is a sizable gas giant with a hydrogen-nitrogen atmosphere. It is believed to be an extrasolar capture due to its close stellar location. In a rare phenomenon, it is near enough to its red dwarf star to be within the life zone, though its massive size prevents the tidal lock that usually occurs at such a range. While nothing could survive on the surface of a planet with such crushing gravity, Cernunnos' moon, Callisto, is habitable. Cernunnos is skimmed for its abundant hydrogen, and refineries on Callisto process it into a metastable metallic form for use as starship fuel. And yeah, that means not really anything super interesting here, although that's a surprisingly half-decent platinum source. Especially for a gas giant? I guess never really thought too much about that in the past, but it is odd that we're talking about getting what I imagine in most cases are still solids with the platinums and iridium. Actually, is it? I don't really know what iridium is like in the real world. Can't say I'm terribly experienced with it, but element zero, like maybe. That's I think these are all solids, right? Are they all solids? Who knows? Who knows? Anyways, I digress. Let's see. We could buy some more probes. Oh, we're looking good on fuel. And so we have Firewalkers over here, so that's eventually where we're going to want to go. We do have a new system with Acer over there, which might be worth checking out as well. Let's just see if there's anything else that might be of interest around here in any other direction. Anything else we'd like? No, looks like that's it. Take a look at, I think we'll do Acer first. See how distant these places... Whoa, speaking of distant. Yes, they are very distant. We might not even be able to visit both of these without heading back for additional fuel. Let's see. No, we're at 724. Okay, that's not bad, fortunately. Alright, but there's a lot of stuff over here. This is a big system. Okay. Start on the exterior. Work our way in. First, we have Tamgauta. We might have wanted to load up on... Even if I think we had something like 22 probes. Which means that if we had bought more, then we would have over-purchased probes a little bit, but then again, if we're going on an extensive trip here in a system that has a bunch of planets, granted we didn't really know it had a bunch of planets in advance, but might mean we'd like to have more of those, so we might need to be kind of careful here with how we're going to use our probes, when and where we send them out. The outermost planet on the Acer system, Tamgauta, is a remote and largely unexplored planet. Its carbon dioxide atmosphere has long since frozen into fields of dry ice. It's good, so I think let's not waste probes here. We have 23. That's not bad, but still. That's actually surprisingly quite good. But still. We might find... I'm surprised. Several solid sources. But, if that's a good planet, just imagine what the rich planets might have. So, let's not waste probes. Sheer, a remote rock planet, capped in ice, Sheer has been exploited by Arvunon Corporation for its minerals. Okay, you got any you can share with us? Home to gold veins, which are used in spaceship shielding as well as jewelry, and cobalt deposits used in high tensile alloys, Sheer shows no signs of being exhausted anytime soon. Good. A light gravity helps keep the planetary exportation process cheap. So it is rich. Don't really know what type of resource we're expecting to see here. And that's... And we just like for the individual ones to be a little bit... But then again, like, both of those might be high enough to be worth launching a probe there. With 23? Alright, sure. We'll go for it.
Away.
But I think for the most part, we want to be judicious here with those probes, and might want to save them specifically for times when we are breaking the scale, which it did look like we were starting to do for a second there. Throwing a little bit of iridium as well. Yeah.
Probe away.
Still considered rich, though. This looks like it has potential to go higher. Still, I don't think this is quite as good. So we might pass on that. Got enough. Is that the same source? That might just be the edge of the same source. I don't think that's quite as significant. Might have been the edge of the same one again. In terms of the iridium, don't think that's good enough. Nor is that platinum. Yeah. I think we probably draw the line here. Again, we're going to try to be a little more judicious with our unlimited probes.